Hello, and welcome to another Sinister Sunday. We're getting right on to October, so I figured I'd tell you all about how Halloween got started. Between themed TV specials, novelty candy flavors, and the mass produced costumes, Halloween has become so thoroughly Americanized that we often forget the holiday grew from much more ancient roots. Costume trick or treating takes its inspiration from the Celtic holiday Samhain, summer's end in Irish, more than 2,000 years ago. Samhain marked New Year's Day and fell on November 1st in the modern calendar. On the eve of each year, the Celts believed the barrier between the living and the dead became porous, allowing a host of supernatural entities, including fairies and demons, to emerge and stalk the earth for one spine-chilling night. To pacify these spirits and ward off trouble, people would leave out offerings of food, and as an extra precaution, they disguised themselves as beasts or monsters to blend in with the otherworldly visitors. In the 7th or 8th century, Samhain took a second name, All Saints' Day, or in Middle English, All Hallows. The night before, when those demons walked the earth, became known as All Hallows' Eve or Halloween. The change likely came when Pope Gregory III moved the Church's celebration of saints from May 13th to November 1st to assimilate pagan influences as Christianity was working to win crucial converts. By the 16th century, guising was common in Scotland and Ireland on All Hallows' Eve. Children disguised as ghouls made the rounds, receiving treats to ward off malign spirits. In England, even poor adults would sometimes beg for biscuits. In return, they would send up prayers for that person's lost loved ones. The ancient Celtic festival of Samhain included bonfires that were lit to welcome the harvest and ward off ghosts. People wore costumes and masks to disguise themselves as harmful spirits. Food was prepared for the living and the dead. Children played games, including games involving fruit and nuts. Marriage divination games were played to predict marriage, such as eating an apple in front of a mirror or placing hazelnuts in a fire. They would honor their ancestors. Families invited their ancestors home and laid out dun suppers as tribute. Protecting their home. Special crosses were placed above doors to protect the home from bad luck. Halloween didn't properly reach the United States until the 1840s, with the mass arrival of immigrants from Ireland and Scotland. These newcomers brought with them many traditions, including begging for treats, but trick-or-treating, a term that only started appearing in the 1920s, really took off stateside after World War II, when sugar rationing ended. Rapidly growing new suburbs provided accessible Halloween routes for families, and the rise of individually wrapped pieces of candy made it easier for the adults to distribute treats to the children. This also helped to keep away the pranksters. Pranking had become very popular among ghoulish American youngsters starting in the 1920s. As one man put it in a letter to the editor in the 1940s, trick-or-treating is obviously a mild kind of blackmail in which, whatever the motives, the treats are always forthcoming. After the Roman Empire conquered much of Celtic territory in 43 CE, the tradition of Samhain evolved and was linked to the Roman festivals of Falla and Pomona. The tradition of souling, where poor people would dress up and go to the homes of wealthier people to receive sweet cakes in exchange for praying for their souls or their past loved ones. Where'd these cute jack-o'-lanterns come from? The Irish are said to have carved faces into turnips to ward off evil spirits. This was after hearing a story of Jack, a legendary trickster who cheated death 3 times. Should we hear the legend of Stringy Jack? As folklore goes, Jack, a drunkard and evildoer, cheated death 3 times throughout his life by tricking the devil out of taking his soul. When Jack finally died, he was barred from heaven and refused entry into hell by an angry devil. Sentenced to walk through the dark worlds of good and bad for eternity. Jack carries a carved out turnip with a glowing ember inside to light his way. Why do you think everything's black and orange on Halloween? Orange represents the pumpkins, or Stringy Jack. Black is to pay homage to the ancestors, to show respect, just like we wear black at funerals. Many other cultures celebrate Halloween. There's a Mexican holiday that honors the dead from October 31st to November 2nd. Families decorate altars with candles and marigolds and leave offering of food and drink at the grave sites of loved ones. Yulan, also known as the Hungry Ghost Festival, this Chinese holiday is celebrated from mid-August to mid-September. Families make offerings to spirit and pay tribute to their ancestors by burning paper money and fake money. All Saints' Day, a German holiday celebrated from October 30th to November 8th. Guy Fawkes Day, an English holiday celebrated on November 5th with bonfires and fireworks. Tetra Lin, a Vietnamese holiday similar to Yu Lan, where families make offerings to help their ancestors reach heaven. Bambrack, an Irish fruitcake that contains coins, buttons, and rings and is considered the country's official Halloween dessert. Qingming Festival is a Chinese holiday celebrated in early April where people clean the tombs of their loved ones. Anisatie in Italy is celebrated on November 1st. It's their All Saints' Day. Festival de Bar de Gantes is a celebration in Guatemala. It's held in the beginning of November in honor of All Saints' Days and the Day of the Dead. Panpangagalua is a Filipino practice honoring souls that have passed. On the evening of November 1st, children dress up in white sheets to look like ghosts or souls that are stuck in purgatory. They knock on doors, sing, and ask for prayers. Sometimes they even get treats. Dia de la Mascarada is celebrated in Costa Rica. They wear large, colorful handmade masks and dance throughout the streets to folk music, a 200-year-old tradition traced back to pre-Columbian customs and carnivals. I hope you liked finding out the origins of Halloween and how they celebrate it around the globe. Thank you so much for joining us for another Sinister Sunday. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next week.